try and get into on the way up. Keep it lively. Let's go. So we'll head up this way. Just follow the banner. Woo! Go. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Oi, oi, oi! Aussie! Oi! Aussie! Oi! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Oi, oi, oi! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Oi, oi, oi! Aussie! 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 Who's not? Everyone is welcome. Sharia is not. Everyone is not. Sharia is not. Alright, give it a rest. Yeah, give it a rest a bit. Wait! Wait! Bigots over here, just stay away from the unwashed crowd. You don't want to be infected with their stench and their unfucking patriots. Alright? Completely ignore it. They're not even bloody here to scope. Where the fuck's that smoke?
Anyone need water?
Yes, please.
Yeah, dude. I'll get the water out for you.
No, I've got someone onto it. No, don't worry.
Donation for the water will be good. Fuck you, scum!
Things where I said that we're here against hate preachers, Islamic extremism, but there's a few other things. Recently in Australia, there was a court case and someone was raped. He was sentenced and charged, although the usual lefty approach is to just keep appealing until you find the judge that'll overturn it. Didn't take too long. Granting leave of appeal. Remember this name, Robert Redledge. You disgust me! Robert Redledge, overturn the conviction. Let this rapist out on the streets. Why? For cultural reasons.
Fuck that shit! Fuck that!
He did not, apparently his defence team argued that he did not have an unclear concept of what consent in sexual relationships is.
Bullshit! Bullshit!
When you take someone in a car and they're screaming and you have to hold their throat and cover their mouth, that is not consent.
Fuck it out!
So, in Australia, we want to protect our women from Sharia law and its evil. Beatings. In the Quran, it says you can beat your wife as long as there is no visible bruising. Why do you think they wear a full covered burqa? You can beat them anywhere then. It's disgusting. Just like these smelly ones, you disgust me. You disgusting. What the fuck you doing? Everyone is welcome. Sharia is not. Everyone is welcome. Sharia is not. Everyone is welcome. Sharia is not. Alright, patriots. I've just told you a little bit about Islam there. There's so much information about there, it's not hard to find. People who argue with me, I say, Have you read any of the Quran? You open the first couple of pages. It tells you, it's okay to what? Kill an infidel, steal from an infidel, not a Muslim. You can't kill them. With me now, I had Peter Callahan. He helped organise Canberra here. He got us all together when I was around in the beginning. Give it a hand for Peter. He's going to talk to us.
Ladies and gents. There's a lot of things that can be said. I'd like to speak a bit personally. I'd like to talk to these people if they would shut up for a minute and listen. My wife is Asian. She's a very dark-skinned lady. She was born in India. Her mother is Thai and her grandfather is Afghan. I learnt about Islam from my family. The reason I am so determined that Islam will have no place in this nation is because of my wife. There is nobody in more peril from Islam than Australian women. Female genital mutilation is an abomination. The embracing of child marriage is an abomination and should disgust all of you. You have no shame. As I said, my wife is Asian and I have a very large Asian family. At our last Christmas get-together, we had 54 members of the family there. Best food you'll ever have. In Australia, my wife works inside the Thai and Laotian and Cambodian communities of Cabramatta. I actually believe in multiculturalism. I believe that multiculturalism has done this country an awful lot of good. But because we now have well over 180 different ethnic groups that make up Australia, I think it's closer to 200, it's very hard these days to say what an Australian is. We have people from, as I say, over 180, 190 different cultures. They've brought their music, they've brought their food, they've brought their own little cultural things. So it's very hard to say what an Australian is. But one thing that's very clear these days is it's not very hard at all to say what an Australian is not. You are not Australians. You are a shame on this nation. You're a disgrace. My grandfather fought at Gallipoli and he did not fight for people like you. All over Australia now, in every state, there are advances being made by Islam. I was told just recently, I have to fact check it, but I believe that there are 23 mosque or school applications extant just in New South Wales. I don't know about other states. I know a little bit about Queensland and a little bit about Victoria. But these people represent 3%, maybe 3.5% of the population. But they're punching way above their weight. For a long time, we've been terrorised by the words racist, Islamophobe, bigot. The fact is, we are speaking the truth. What can be known about Islam isn't hard to work out. I can see all of you people here, you've done your homework, you know what it is that we're opposing. Say it again, Scott. There's nothing in Islam that can benefit this nation. Islam is an ideology and it's totalitarian. Australian values are all embracing. We stand here today to defend our values and our cultural traditions, and those are worth fighting for. For one, very proud to be here with all of you. Good on yous.
Thank you, Peter. Let's give him a big round of applause. All right, Patriots. I'm just looking over here at our opposition here. Free the refugees. So we've seen what's happened in recent times in France, in Paris. Two of those terrorists were Syrian refugees who had arrived in France only 6 weeks earlier. We don't want this in Australia. No refugees until we know what's going on, until we can identify. We don't, you know, when you lock your house at night, why? Not because you hate everyone on the outside, but because you love the people inside. We love Australia. So we see we have the Socialist Alliance calling for freeing of the refugees. I don't understand that. We have something to do with the Aboriginal thing. Well, like, I don't understand what you're asking for. We've got Black Day for Australia. I don't know, well, I see a few different, many races here. I don't understand, but let's just try not to understand. I have Rao Saramanara here. Sorry. He's come down from Sydney. He came up on Friday, we went out and that, and then I made him work all Saturday, so he wasn't very happy with that. But here he is now, and he knows quite a lot about Islam. He's a great patriot in this movement, works very tirelessly on this, and he's going to speak with you now. Let's hear it for Ralph.
So look, I want to start by telling everyone a little story.
Not up here.
Some people haven't heard the whole truth about what happened in Lakemba back in December, the 22nd. I walked down Lakemba with a video camera to prove that they were having Sharia law courts in Lakemba. They were putting up their Islamic flags all over the streets. I walked down there with myself and one other person. We were arrested by a Muslim police officer for breach of the peace. Whilst we were arrested by the Muslim police officer, we were surrounded by another 20-odd Muslims who started yelling out, "You Aussie dogs, you Aussie pricks, we're going to kill you." The police officer sat there and did nothing.
Exactly.
So I'm not going to cop it. So I turned around and said the truth. Muhammad was a pedophile. So with that, the next thing I heard was Allah Akbar, and I was knocked out. The Muslims assaulted a police officer, broke his arm in 2 places, assaulted a female police officer, put her in hospital. Myself and my mate were charged and put in jail for 5 weeks. The Muslim that assaulted the police officer has not spent 1 day in jail. He was granted bail by a Muslim. We were refused bail by a Muslim. Our prosecutor was a Muslim. After he was removed from the case, another prosecutor was put on the case, and it was found that he was a Muslim as well. So he was removed from the case. 5 weeks I sat in jail for walking down a bloody street, and when we finally got a decent prosecutor, he said, "Oh my God, what the hell are these guys doing in jail? I can't believe this. Get them out." We got out, and the charges naturally were dropped. Now, these bastards over here don't actually understand. I don't tell a lot of people because I always play I'm Australian. That's who I am, that's what I believe. Half my family, though, are actual Aboriginal. Call me a racist all you want, you fucking idiots. The fact of the matter is these days, right, the problems that we have facing our country, in my opinion, are these corrupt bastards behind us. We've got 2 prime ministers now that no one actually voted for. I didn't vote for Turnbull. Now, I was in the army, and in the army we were always taught to follow orders, but there's always times when you don't follow orders, when you've got to do what's right. Now, and I hope all the police here are listening to this, because it's about time you guys start doing what's right, right? And it's not right locking up Aussies while let Muslim bastards free. Where's the conscience? The blood's on your hands, not on ours. And these bastards to our right, these bloody, you guys are the racists, they're the real bigots, right? We're here standing up for women, we're here for standing up for every single race that Islam has attacked. It's attacked everyone. And these dickheads can't even understand what a race is. My family are Aboriginal. We don't want Muslims here, right? Every single Islamic country in the world has violence. Every single Islamic country stones women. Every single country that has Islam in it is an abomination to this world, all right? And you dogs are standing up for it. You want to call me racist? You're a fucking idiot. We are the choice. We have elections coming up. All right, next year we have elections. All right, we've got Australian Liberty Alliance. We've got Rise Up Australia. We've got Kim Booger's new party. All right, we've got One Nation. Pauline Hanson's making it back. All right. Now, what we plan to do is we plan to get all the patriot groups together and man every single poll booth, every single one. All right, and we're going to make sure that these bastards are sent a fucking message. And that message is, you're not fucking welcome anymore. You don't represent us. When I grew up in a town with just our family and Europeans, and that was it. I've met Asians, I've met Pakistanians, I've met everyone. The only ones that never fit in are Muslims. Simple and plain. Now, these bigots over here will try and tell you that not every Muslim is a radical. We've all heard that crap before. At the end of the day, a Muslim is Muslim, Islam is Islam. If you think that the best idea of a human being in the world is a pedophile, a warmongering coward, then these guys obviously need to go and fucking read the Quran, or these are actually pedophiles yourself. Which is it? Silence, saying nothing is consent. And there's the guy over there putting his cock in his mouth. Yeah, mate, that's the shows the mentality of you. That's the mentality of these left-wing bigots, right? And they're left-wing bigots, right? But I want everyone here to know, right? Eventually, right, the time is going to come where the blood is going to flow on the streets, and it's going to be these bastards that let it happen, and it's going to be the police that said nothing and kept their mouth shut, right, that have caused it to happen. Now, there is a rally coming up in a few weeks in Cronulla, and I hope everyone here comes. Right? But again, right, the police in Sydney are actually a little bit different from other police. They're actually not too bad, except for the exception of Lakemba. Sorry?
Police here.
Well, look, if you say the police here are good, right, what I do is the corruption that goes on in that establishment every day is fucking bullshit. So these police aren't doing their jobs. It's their civic duty, all right, to go and get those corrupt bastards out of there who are supposed to represent us, who aren't. Malcolm Turnbull wasn't voted in by me, and what's he done? He's let in another 12,000 refugees. Who's going to be raped? Whose blood's going to be on his hands and the people that allowed it to happen? Now, if we were to storm that building, who would stop us? These police. Alright? So they don't represent us. They represent that corrupt government. Now I understand some don't believe in it and they're just following orders. That's okay. But there is a time when you can't follow orders. There's a time when you have to do what's right. And that time is coming. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! 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 Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Oh, one more thing. There's media around, as you know. If there is ABC or SBS around here, don't speak to them. They're left-wing bigots and they're traitors. Alright? Don't speak to them. Have two words to say to them, and that's fuck off. Thanks, Ralph.
Good. Give it up for Ralph.
Yeah.
It was a great speech there. Talking about the ignorance of this left side. These idiots that, you know, I don't know what they're talking about. You know, educate yourself. You're supporting pedophilia. You're supporting domestic violence. That is, it's in the Quran. Go open a book. Right now I've got, we had a comment posted on the Reclaim page by someone called Wayne Bond. And on the Canberra page. He's gone down to Melbourne for this rally. I asked him if he would like to read that comment out. But he was going to Melbourne, so I'm going to read out his comment because it got crap load of likes. So I'll read her out. Immigrants to Australia must adapt now. Take it or leave it. I am tired of this nation worrying about whether we are offending some individual or their culture. Since the terrorist attacks around the world and now in France, we have experienced a surge in patriotism by the majority of Australians, not you minority. However, the dust from the attacks had barely settled when the politically correct crowd began complaining about the possibility that our patriotism was offending others. I am not against immigration, nor do I hold a grudge against anyone who is seeking a better life in Australia. However, There are a few things that those have recently come to our country, and apparently some born here need to understand. The idea of Australia being a multicultural community has served only to dilute our sovereignty and our national identity. As Australians, we have our own culture, our own society, our own language, and our own lifestyle. This culture has been developed over 2 centuries of struggles, trials, and victories by millions of men and women who sought freedom.
We ain't gonna run to another country, we're gonna stand here and fight for it.
Fuck yeah!
We speak English, not Spanish, Lebanese, Arabic, Chinese, Japanese, Russian, or any other language. Therefore, if you wish to become part of this society, learn the language. In God we trust is our national motto. This is not some Christian right-wing political slogan. It is certainly appropriate to display on the wall of our schools. If God offends you, then I suggest you consider another part of the world as your new home. Because God is part of our culture. Sorry. If the Southern Cross offends you, or you don't like a fair go, then you should seriously consider a move to another part of this planet. We're happy with our culture and we have no desire to change. And we really don't care. We really don't care how you did things where you come from. This is our country, our land, our lifestyle for all Australians. And we will allow every opportunity to enjoy all this. But once you are done complaining and whining and griping about our flag, our pledge, our national motto, our way of life, I highly encourage you to take advantage of one other great Australian freedom, the right to leave. If you are happy, then go. As we did not force you to come here, you asked to be here, so accept the country that you accepted. Pretty easy, really, when you think about it. That was from Wayne Bond. He lives in Gold Coast and he's posted it on the page. We have our next speaker coming up. We have our next speaker coming up. Sherman Burgess, the great Aussie Patriot.
Just before I start speaking, there's 2 things I need. Air guard for these pieces of shit, and maybe some soap so they can have a wash. Shame it's not raining. Now, I look at our Anzacs and I think they fought and they died. They sat in muddy trenches for sometimes weeks on end, where they'd pull the boots off their feet and they'd have rotting flesh coming off their feet. They suffered so much so that we can have what we have today. And these people have no idea. They think Islam is a race. Really? So if I go around mocking Christianity, am I going to be called a racist? Nah, but to suit their argument, we'll just say it's a race, you know. Now, a word to these traitors behind me. Not the police, you guys are all right, I'm not talking about you. But the government. It is a joke what is going on. I didn't vote this idiot turncoat in. He didn't get my vote. Did I get a say? No. Did I get a say in 12,000 refugees coming here? No. ISIS fighters have been smuggled into the refugees. An ISIS smuggler who has been smuggling them in admitted this. He said, I have smuggled fighters posing as refugees with fake identification papers going to France, Greece, England and Australia. Now, what I'm wondering is when they do a terrorist attack and kill a heap of Australians, including men and women, and children at, say, a football grand final, maybe a New Year's celebration down at Sydney Harbour, what are they going to do? They're going to say, Islam is the victim. It's your fault for being Islamophobic. Oh my God. And then they're going to put a hashtag, we will ride with the terrorists. Because these people may not be terrorists with guns and bombs, but they are social terrorists. They want the complete downfall of the system and the complete downfall of the Australian way of life. Now, I have a problem with no one, no matter what your skin colour is, all right? I have no problem with no one. If you come into Australia and you love this country and you stand up for this country and all the pride is in your heart and the love you have for this, the love you have for your children, you will fight. You will stand up and fight. And the reason these idiots counter-rally us is because they know we're going to keep growing. They know we have a platform now. And they know if they don't stop us, once nationalism grows, it's fucking unstoppable. And on the day when we get people within positions of power within this government, which we will, because the Australian people are becoming fed up. I know for one, I'm voting One Nation on election day. Liberal and Labor are nothing but treasonous maggots. I'd call them dogs, but dogs are loyal. Now, why won't I vote Liberal in? Simple fact, they sell all the agricultural farmland off to Chinese investors. All our manufacturing moves overseas. Aussie jobs are cut, so jobs can be given overseas with Australian companies. Tell me that's right. And Labor opens up the floodgate to Islam. Right? Open border policy. Remember when Julia Gillard was in? 17 boats arrived in 1 week. 1 week. Right? The detention centres were that full, they housed them in 5-star motels in Sydney at the taxpayers' expense. Tell me, did you vote for that?
What about the homeless veterans?
Yeah, what about the homeless veterans? We're so busy trying to help refugees. We've got homeless kids on the streets, homeless veterans that serve this nation.
Pensioners!
Right? We're not helping them. We're not helping our pensioners. Have you seen what age pensioners get? Try living off that. Try living off that. Now, I'd like to say something to the police. I read a book written by a police officer from Sydney named Tim Priest. That book is called To Protect and to Serve. He was a police officer for 18 years in Sydney. He could not handle corruption within the police force and he decided to be a whistleblower. He was scolded by his co-workers, the ones that were corrupt, and he had to go into hiding for a while. But he couldn't handle seeing the crime from the Middle East and Islamic gangs in Western Sydney and the police turning a blind eye to it or accepting payments not to persecute these people and put them where they belong, behind bars, or even just deport them.
Disgraceful!
All right? Now, what I don't get, if you come here as a refugee, once you get citizenship, you get commission housing and you get immediate welfare. Right? Meanwhile, we got single Aussie fathers and single Aussie mothers on a 10-year waiting list for a commission house. And these people are born here and they pay tax here. Are you pissed off yet? Because I know I am.
And their grandfathers fucking pay tax!
It's a joke. It is an absolute pathetic joke. And the only solution is if we rise up as patriots and we have our say. We get out on the streets. We all sit together. We all talk together and we all vote together from now on. Liberal and Labor will not get my vote. These people are traitors to this nation and I will never ever vote for them ever again. Pauline Hanson warned us back in 1997 about the problem that's happening now. Remember when everyone laughed at her and said, oh, that's never going to happen?
You're a racist.
What happened? Everything she said come true, didn't it?
Yeah.
Right? So now, are we going to listen? Are we going to vote for a pro-patriotic political party that's for the people? We'll stand for the people. We'll stand for our farmers. We'll stand for our working rights. We'll stand for our people. Close our borders. We do not want to see happen here what happened in Paris, or the beheading of Lee Rigby in London, the London bombings, the Glasgow airport bombings, the Bali bombings, the Lynn Cafe siege, the Parramatta shooting, or any of that shit anymore. Aussie pride! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! I love you all. Thank you.
Dr. Sherman, the great Aussie patriot, and he is a great patriot. This is a great day. We do well. We've done well. I think Ralph is going to give a few more words now. I'm going to keep this going because this is good. I'm giving it here. Let's give another. What the fuck are you doing to these guys? What the fuck are you doing? Thanks, Ralph.
I did actually forget to mention a few things that I thought were quite pertinent. Today, Dan and a few guys arranged a permit so we could legally assemble here. However, just so everyone knows, right, that we worked with police so that we could be here. However, those bastards over there don't have a permit. So how come the police are letting them congregate here? And they tell us if we don't get a permit, they won't let us here. Two-tier system. Alright? They're racist against their own bloody people to appease these bigots. I'm not too sure if you heard, but there's a 102-year-old army badge that World War I vets got, the World War II vets got. Alright? Now this badge was a badge that only certain people got, and it had a cross there. And it said, "In this song we conquer." Now on the news the other day, I'm not too sure if you've seen it or not, but it's now been removed from circulation because it upsets Muslims. Why are we curtailing our own culture, our heritage? We're spitting on the Anzacs, we're spitting on the people who fought and died for this country to appease these bastards! And there's one dickhead over there with Nazi punks fuck off on his t-shirt. So one, that's an offensive t-shirt, officers. Why aren't you taking it off? Alright? And number two, Nazi and Islam fought together, you dickhead. Nazi and Islam were together. Now piss off. Go and give them hell, patriots. Left-wing scum off our streets! 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 Left-wing scum off our streets!
Left-wing scum off our streets! Left-wing scum off our streets! If you're a leftian, you know it. Shoot yourself! Bigots, go home! We don't want you here! You are here illegally! We have permits! This is what Ralph was saying! Welcome, Sharia is not! Everyone is welcome, Sharia is not! These are our streets! Aussie streets! Whose streets? Whose streets? Whose streets? Aussie streets! Aussie pride! Australia-wide! This is us, patriots! Look at these idiots, they'll just keep going and going.
Give Mel Dan.
Alright, patriots, let's leave these smelly ones alone. You're probably copping a bad whiff there. We give it to them there. Come on, guys. Let's come back here. We can see these dickheads up against the fence, giving the trouble. You know, we're just showing you then that we're not scared of you. We hate you. You destroy Australia. You stand for pedophilia. Muhammad was a pedophile. His sixth wife, apart from polygamy, married Aisha at the age of 6. Consummated that marriage at 9. I don't know, but that's pedophilia in Australia.
Turn your backs like you always do.
Just so everybody knows, a Muslim and an Aboriginal person over there just got in a fight, right? So, there you go, you bigots, alright? Islam doesn't give a shit who you are. Islam is a racist, alright? Islam is a racist. Why aren't you over there protecting the Aboriginal? You left-wing bigots. You're lucky we're not over there.
Just so you all know, my people, I have Aboriginal blood in my family too, and they don't stand for fucking pedophilia. And they do not want to see Aboriginal people offended by you left-wing fucking scum. So fuck off, believe you maggots. Piss off, believe the Aboriginal people alone, you fucking dogs. Aboriginal people fought the wars for this fucking country, you stupid fucking bleeding ass cunts. Read the Quran!
Hey, Patriots, I have Harry Jacobach here. He had a rally a couple of weeks ago down at Government House or the Governor General's house. There was a protest against something that's being signed, Agenda 21. I just want to let him tell you a little bit about this and what this means.
Just so you know, mate, I have been. Hey, Harry.
Okay. Sorry, folks, he's put me on the spot here. But yes, we had a demonstration outside of Government House about a week ago, last weekend, against the signing of Agenda 21. Now, if you have a look at Agenda 21, what it basically means is we're signing away our sovereignty to the UN. We're signing away our constitution to the UN, because once that document is signed in December, we are compelled to do whatever the UN tells us to do on a wide range of issues, which includes immigration, population distribution, land ownership, and a number of other things. It's going to totally screw up our civil liberties. There'll be no more land ownership in the future by 2030. Farmers are going to be forced off their land. It's all going to be taken over by multinational corporations.
They're already buying them up.
I know, that started. But the signing of this document is going to make it official, and they're just going to go full on. All right, we're just going to get pushed to one side.
We're not having it.
And the multinational corporations and the UN is just going to control everything we do. Okay, now that's what it's about. Now, I urge everybody here, now we probably only got a week left in this, to send a letter, a registered letter,
Already done.
not email, to the Governor General. I've got one on my Facebook page that other people could get it to you. It's been posted on Reclaim. I urge all of you within the next week to get a copy of that letter and to send it to the Governor General, telling him that you want him to intervene because the government does not have the constitutional right. The government does not have the constitutional right to sign that document, and the Governor General should intervene. Okay? Now, I've just got one thing to say to these left-wing bigots over there. They didn't believe me when I said that there were 250 Australian child brides in Australia in the last 24 months. Now, I don't have to prove anything, but you do your homework, because that is a fact.
Thanks, Harry. He works hard. He works hard against this. You know, losing this Agenda 21, losing our sovereignty, losing our constitution, what, to the United Nations? Who's running this United Nations? We see a lot of Islam in there. Saudi Arabia has been made head of the Human Rights Charter. What the hell? Saudi Arabia kills homosexuals every day, every week there. Women aren't allowed to drive. there. And why do we even trade with this country or deal with them? Now our government's gone and signed trade deals with Iran, for God's sakes. They get it out.
Back your banks up! Back your banks!
Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Hey, that's what they want to do, hold hands and sing! Fuck!
Sing! Singing's not gonna fucking solve anything.
They can't.
Right, here's Sherman again.
I'll just jump on for a quick say. What are they doing over there? I think they're chopping a mix, probably having a few cones or something. Oh, yeah. Oh, they're always whinging about something. They're not blocking roads and whinging about anything that offends them. It's funny, you know, I see that hippie flag flying in the wind there. And it reminds me stories my father told me about when people returned from Vietnam. And these same very people spat on returning servicemen, threw pig's blood on them and called them baby killers.
Disgusting.
And these people reckon we're bigots. Fuck. What a joke.
They were the reason they're freaking here. Otherwise, none of us would be here.
The only reason they're here is because they hate Australia. They don't love it. We do love Australia. I'm telling you right now, if a war broke out and you had to pick up a rifle, put up your hand how many of you would pick up a rifle and defend your country? How many of them would? They'd hide at home and then they'd scream for people that serve in the army to come and save them.
Yes.
Where's the army? Come and help me, we've been invaded. But I tell you what, they'll sit there and abuse the troops, call them murderers, say they don't deserve respect, but yet these same idiots will be the ones crying for them when shit hits the fan. Now I'm going to leave it at that because they're not worth any more oxygen. There is a tree somewhere tirelessly producing oxygen so they can breathe. So I'll leave it up to that. But now I'm going to go to the pub and I'm going to smash back a few beers. Who's joining me? Bloody oath. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! 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 Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Thank you.
Let's go to the pub! Hey! Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you for your support. It's a big effort. Just one thing too. I've got a container here. It's cost me $200 to get the stage and the sound system. I did get a $150 donation earlier. If someone can throw in a couple of bucks, help me out. I've paid for the last 4 rallies pretty much for everything.
Thanks for putting it together.
And don't forget, 12th of December, Cronulla. Let's all be there. Woo! Thank you, Patriots.
Right, cheers, hip hooray!
Tune in tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Bye for now.